Once upon a time, in a quaint village cradled between emerald green hills, there lived a young boy named Ethan. Ethan was known far and wide for his boundless kindness and unwavering willingness to help others. Whether it was helping Mrs. Barnaby carry heavy sacks of flour from the market or guiding weary travelers to hidden paths, Ethan always found a way to lend a hand. His cheerful smile and empathetic nature were like sunshine to everyone he encountered. One bright afternoon, as Ethan strolled back from the market with a small bag of groceries, he noticed a weary figure sitting by the roadside. The elderly man was hunched over, his clothes frayed and dusty, his face etched with weariness from countless days of travel. His eyes betrayed exhaustion, and his cracked lips hinted at thirst and hunger. Ethan felt a pang of concern rise in his chest. Approaching the old man, Ethan knelt beside him and asked softly,
"Sir, are you all right? You seem tired. Can I help you with something?"
The old man looked up slowly, his face breaking into a faint, grateful smile. "Ah, young man, you have a kind soul. I've been traveling for many days, and all my food and water are gone. I fear my strength is fading," the old man replied, his voice weak but sincere. Without hesitation, Ethan reached into his bag and offered the entirety of its contents: a loaf of bread, a small wedge of cheese, and a bottle of fresh water. "Here," Ethan said, pressing the bag toward the man's hands. "It's not much, but it's enough to give you some strength." For a moment the man hesitated, his fingers trembling. He looked up at Ethan, his eyes glistening with gratitude. "Your kindness is rare in this world, young one," he said, accepting the food reluctantly but eating quickly, driven by hunger. "May the universe reward your heart of gold," he murmured between bites. When the man finished, he wiped his mouth and reached into his pocket. From its depths, he pulled out a small rusted key. The metal was dull and worn, barely the size of a child's thumb. He held it out to Ethan with an air of mystery. "Take this," he said. "It may not seem like much, but one day you will understand its purpose." Ethan accepted the key with a puzzled expression, its coarse surface rough against his palm. Though uncertain of its significance, he nodded politely, thanked the old man, and tucked the key into his pocket. As his steps carried him home, the encounter lingered in his mind, and the strange key took up residence in his thoughts. Months passed, and Ethan's life returned to its serene rhythm, helping his neighbors, visiting the local chapel, and exploring the meadows beyond the hills. But one day, shocking news rippled through the village. The wealthiest merchant in town, a reclusive yet diligent man, had passed away. His grand estate, a sprawling mansion surrounded by tall iron gates, stood silent as everyone whispered about its future. With no family to inherit his fortune, the merchant had left an unusual stipulation in his will. Whoever could unlock the mysterious chest in his study would inherit everything: the mansion, the land, and all his wealth. The news spread like wildfire, and soon people from neighboring villages poured in, eager to try their luck. Every type of key was brought to the chest: silver skeleton keys, elaborately carved locks picked by experienced craftsmen, and ancient family heirlooms, but none fit. The chest stubbornly refused to open. Curiosity tugged at Ethan. He wondered about the rusted key sitting forgotten in his drawer, the same key given to him by the old traveler months ago. Could it be? Unsure yet eager, Ethan retrieved it and walked to the merchant's estate. Among the gathered crowd, murmurs rose as Ethan approached the chest. His humility and kind demeanor made him the least likely candidate for such a fortune in their eyes. Yet anticipation hung dense in the room. Ethan knelt before the chest, sliding the rusty key into the lock. A soft click echoed in the silence. The lock turned smoothly and the chest creaked open. Gasps filled the air. Inside was not only a treasure trove, but also a handwritten letter from the merchant. The letter read, "To the one who possesses a heart pure enough to open this chest, I leave my legacy. Wealth alone is empty, but in the hands of generosity, it can change lives for the better." Stunned but resolute, Ethan accepted the gift with grace. True to his nature, the young boy used his newfound fortune not to enrich himself, but to enrich others. He built schools for children who had none, provided food and shelter for the poor, and established a safe haven for travelers passing through his village. His kindness became a river, flowing endlessly into the lives of those around him. And so the rusted key given on the roadside became a symbol of generosity rewarded, a reminder that in the grand scheme of life, kindness is never wasted.